Confinement of Flesh is the debut full-length album from Helsinki, Finland-based death metal band Malformed. The band formed back in 2022 by way of people associated with bands like Azathoth and Exigence connected. If you're familiar with what is currently going on in Finland in terms of death metal and a lot of pretty great bands showing up with a lot of promise, these were among those musicians, and this group got picked up for a reason there. Their EP and demo were both substantive, riff-focused, and had a classic 90s death metal touch to them, while also bringing a little bit of gore and aggression to their sound. I think the compositions were okay for those releases. They were solid enough. It was standard old school death metal fare, nothing that had blown me away at the time, and I would say that Confinement of Flesh represents a leap in those terms. So expect something new, something a little bit different than the EP brought. On this clip, I'll kind of give you an example right away of the band showing up with just a little bit more force and stronger guitar playing overall. So you'll always catch my attention when a band combines Finnish death metal with United States death metal influences, whether it's Funebrarum or beyond. It's a great combination of atmosphere and thrash metal influenced directness in general, moving beyond the 80s into the early 90s. Malformed are particularly good at this, and the way they do that, it's kind of a Tomb of the Mutilated sounding record. The production values are kind of specific in that sense. It is a very kind of dry and harsh production value with a very strong guitar tone and a ton of riffs. So there is some death, doom, and gloomier parts on this record that make good on some of those Finnish death metal influences, but this is very much an aggressive, sometimes slightly technical record. I even reference Solstice of Oppression on here at some point, because I feel like they meet some of those standards in some of those songs, where they're quick changes, they're strong riffs. It's definitely a point where death metal was still pure and underground, but it was becoming more sophisticated based on interests and the evolution of the artists involved. And I think this is a good example of folks who are just a little bit more sensical in terms of understanding music placement, as well as the aggressive purpose of the riff within death metal as not just filler and background rhythmic movement, but the directive of each song. So there's a lot of skill that went into these 33 minutes, and it was a record that I found, it wasn't that memorable, but it was definitely a great piece of death metal, a great chunk of death metal that shows this band are serious and great at what they do, with especially, with particular focus on both the work of the drummer and the guitarist, which is very strong. Otherwise, a finely produced record, a great looking record. I love the album art and the general sound of it overall. I think the lyrics could be more interesting, but that's just death metal in general. It fits the bill otherwise. And for me, it's just a great record, a very notable record for July, and one well worth checking out with a high recommendation. Go ahead and check that out for yourself. It is out now. And go ahead and read my review for more of my thoughts.